Coming up today on Studio 13 Live.
We should all do our best to help take care of each other.
The cast of Ted Lasso visited the White House yesterday. We're telling you what the show's star had to say about mental health.
Plus, it's Women's History Month, an event honoring women in business happening this week. A panelist for What She Said stopping by to talk about why it's so important.
Then, Doggone Seattle is introducing us to some of their adoptable pets. See how their organization has placed over 700 dogs into their forever homes.
And Maxi Beast Barbecue teaching us how to cook their smoked deviled eggs and street taco crostinis. Studio 13 Live starts right now.
I wanna see you smile, take you another mile. Don't gotta wait, don't gotta wait, don't gotta wait today.
Hello, hello. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here with us today. We are just so excited to have you. I'm Mireya Garcia.
And I'm Carly Henderson, and it is the second day of spring, and it's National Flower Day. Do you like to get flowers as a gift?
I actually really do. I do get bummed out when they die, but I just smile when I get some flowers.
I know. I've been really dying to make my own floral arrangement again after we had that amazing guest from the Works come in. I saw you gave it a try.
I gave it a try. It did not go well, girl, but I did try. And you know what? Those, with the tips that we learned on the show, they're still doing okay. I think it's been like 2 weeks.
Oh, it feels like it's been a really long time.
So they're there looking weird in my house, but they're alive.
You rocked it. Just in time for National Flower Day.
Excellent. So we're starting off with a little bit of rough news today, okay? Amanda Bynes, who I just love, has been placed on a psychiatric hold after being found roaming the streets. She was naked and alone in downtown Los Angeles over the weekend, and a witness told TMZ that Bynes waved the car down, telling the driver that she was coming down off of a psychotic episode, and then she called 911 on herself. Law enforcement says a mental health team decided that she did need to be placed on that psychiatric hold. Now, Bynes' 9-year conservatorship had actually expired almost a year ago exactly. In 2013, her mother was placed in control after Bynes was having issues with her mental health and diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And this it breaks my heart that she's going through this.
It breaks my heart too. I loved her so much. I mean, I was a huge Nickelodeon kid. I watched her on The Amanda Show and all that. And she's just such a talented human. Of course, all of her movies as well, like She's All That. There's just so many good ones. Or He's All That?
She's all that. She's all that.
No, wait.
It was funny is what I remember.
Good one. The one in Britain. He's All That. Yeah. Just so many good movies. And we love Amanda Bynes. I'm rooting for her so much. I'm so glad that she was able to know that she needed to call for help.
Yes.
And I have been reading about this, and I read that they're not considering putting her under another conservatorship. So let's just hope she gets what she needs there, and she takes care of herself, and she has people looking out for her.
I think that's the best that we can hope for.
Yeah.
And speaking of mental health news, the cast of Ted Lasso actually met with President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden at the White House yesterday.
Yeah, and outside of their meeting, the cast took over the White House press briefing to talk about mental health. It's a subject that the series has addressed heavily. Ted Lasso actor Jason Sudeikis says that it is vital for people with mental health concerns to ask for help, whether it's from a loved one or from a professional.
While it's easier said than done, we also have to know that we shouldn't be afraid to ask for help ourselves. And that does take a lot, especially when it's something that has such a negative stigma to it, such as mental health.
Now, Sudeikis says that no matter who you are or where you live, you probably know somebody who's struggled with their mental health. He says it's one of the things that all human beings have in common. I'm so glad that the Ted Lasso cast went there and just to humanize the whole thing. And, I think it's great, raising awareness.
And I think it's just really important to talk about this sort of thing, because whether you have a diagnosed disorder or you're going through a difficult time during a period of your life, I think naming it and knowing what you're dealing with is a real thing, one, and that there are ways that you can deal with it and manage it, that really just helps you get through that difficult time.
Yeah, mental health is health. And I know, even from going through low periods myself, sometimes you don't even know how to ask for help or what exactly you need. So I think just sending people that you love texts periodically, just checking in on them, letting them know you're thinking of them, can really help so much too. I think that would, make everybody's day a little bit better. So we all got to look out for each other, man.
I know. And you and I have had a wild morning this morning.
We have.
We're trying to come off of that. But you know who else is maybe not having the best day? Gwyneth Paltrow. The actress appeared in court today for a civil case surrounding a ski accident in 2016. Okay, so this is a little wonky here. So a man is suing Paltrow for $300,000, saying that the actress skied into him at a Deer Valley resort in Utah, then skied off. The man claiming that the accident left him with a brain injury, broken ribs, and loss of enjoyment of life. Now, according to Paltrow, it's totally different. She says the man skied into her and that she did stick around to make sure that he was okay. Oh boy, I'm wondering, I mean, it's interesting to wonder what the truth is, but it's very difficult when it's like two completely polar opposite points here. You did it versus he did it. So I guess we'll have to see what this comes down to. I'm wondering if there's some sort of security footage available.
Well, they said that there was no witnesses available either. So nobody, they haven't, I'm sure somebody saw it, but it's been so many years, nobody can remember seeing it. So I really feel like it's going to come down to just the jury deciding who they believe more, who's more credible in this case. So we'll find out. It is really unfortunate, though, that man has brain injuries forever now, no matter how the accident happened.
Absolutely.
So.
Although it does make you wonder, I mean, $300,000 to, I'm only assuming, right? I don't know Gwyneth Paltrow's finances. It doesn't sound like it would be a lot of money to her.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if the request was maybe she'll make it go away or like where that number came from.
Yeah.
But I cannot wait to see the outcome of this.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll find out very soon. Ed Sheeran is getting personal in a new 4-part docuseries. It's called Ed Sheeran, The Sum of It All, and features him reflecting on fame and fatherhood. He hopes that opening up about the difficult moments that he's faced in recent years and making his upcoming album Subtract will be entertaining for everybody to check out. You can watch the series on Disney Plus when it premieres on May 3rd, just 2 days before his album releases on May 5th. And Ed Sheeran has been through it over the last couple of years. And it's something I feel like a lot of us didn't even know about. So it's always great to see these documentaries. I feel like it helps you be more compassionate for what they've gone through with the loss of his best friend. And I know his wife had found out that she had cancer while she was pregnant with their child and couldn't even get treated for it until she had given birth. So like, what a horrible thing to experience yourself, but then as a husband to watch your wife go through something like that. So difficult. But yeah, we look forward to checking out the documentary.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that one of the craziest things to me is that often people lack sympathy and empathy for people who are famous or who are stars, you know, because of whatever their financial situation may be or however they may perceive their life to be easier. But the reality is that these are all people we're talking about who are facing very difficult things. I mean, in a really tragic sense, something like the loss of a loved one and cancer are the great equalizer, right? It devastates you to your core and could potentially be a huge change in your life that you will not recover from easily. So I think it's really kind that he's sharing that with the world to see that there's hope out there.
Me too. Madonna is back in the studio and she's getting ready for tour. So the Queen of Pop revealed on Twitter she's making music with Swedish record producer Max Martin. She kicks off the Celebration tour July 15th and will perform at Climate Pledge on July 18th and 19th. Max Martin, man, he is like a pop hit factory too. Baby One More Time, Shake It Off, It's Gonna Be Me by NSYNC. Like, you'd look at great songs over the last couple of decades, and he's a lot of the time he's the man behind it.
What is it about the Nordic countries? They really know how to produce pop music, man.
Like Sweden in particular. It's just, and then like Robin's come from Sweden. So many great artists have come from there. They really know what they're doing with their pop music up there, let me tell you.
And you know what? Fans totally bugging because the word on the street is that the 90s cult favorite Clueless could be getting a remake.
Ew, get off of me.
I still can hear that in my head from time to time. Okay, so at 90s Con over the weekend, 2 of the original cast members made the case for a modern day reboot, and they say it's not really up to them, but they know that fans do want to know what their characters would be up to 3 decades later. Now, if it follows a new set of young people, what is the vibe? What is the look that you think we would see? Because this is like original is like very preppy.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not here for this reboot.
No?
I am not. No,
I would love to
Clueless
see
is
it.
so good.
Yeah.
How many times do we think we want a reboot? We missed that movie. We love that movie so much. And then the reboots just are not it.
Yeah.
I feel like that movie is so good. I want to keep it as a cult classic. I want to go see it in outdoor movie nights during the summer, and that is it.
I would be down for not a remake because, yes, the original is perfection to me. But I would be curious, as a consumer of all the content out there, to see where they would take the story or if there are any new storylines. And honestly, I just kind of want to laugh at the new group of girlies and guys that is just like totally at the peak of coolness, and then in a couple of years we'll all be laughing about it. You know
Totally.
what I mean?
And seeing the original cast as parents too.
Oh, I would like that.
That would be fun.
I'm just saying.
I love that 90s con is a thing too.
Yes.
What a fun thing to go to.
Well, the Gen Zers wouldn't even have to buy special clothes. They're wearing the 90s clothes.
Right? The little crop tops and the giant pants and all of that.
All right.
Still holding out. I'm ready for 80s style to move in.
Yes, that is true. But I gotta know, are you okay in the cold?
No.
No?
I'm not. I hate being cold.
Okay, I can be
Haven't you
cold
seen my
for a little
lap
bit.
blanket in the office? Like a little grandma sitting around here.
I
If
was
could
not
have
gonna
a
tell on
blanket
you.
right now, I would.
We have joked about having like a cozy show day and like wrapping ourselves up in blankets. But you know what? According to a new survey, women can only stand 7 weeks of winter before needing warmer weather. Now, the survey of 2,000 women found that 1 in 10 women are just totally over the cold by the time January rolls around. They're ready for some sunshine, for some warmth. About a third of them said that their ideal spring temperature is 70 degrees, which I actually think is a little cool, in my opinion.
Yeah, but we're in Seattle, so we've got to rock it. My ideal body temperature is 73 degrees. Like,
that's
set
nice.
the thermostat to that. I think that's perfect.
I feel like I have different temperatures for what I'm in the mood for. So if I'm going to be at a pool, it needs to be 80 at least.
Yeah.
But if I'm hanging out in a patio having some little drinky drinks, then maybe like 75, 70 would be okay.
Yeah, I'll just take a sunshine. I don't care what the temperature is. Give me the sunshine and I'll take that.
I know. I feel like that's more reasonable.
Yeah.
It was very sunny yesterday. Did you get outside?
Yes.
Okay.
Yesterday was amazing.
That's awesome. All right. Well, you know what? Coming up, we are chatting with our friends Jody and Bender from Mornings on 95.7 The Jet.
Yes, and I cannot wait for this. We're going to get Jody's take on Taylor Swift's Eras tour because she went last weekend. Dying to know the full story right after the break.
Well, it is Tuesday, which means it is time to check in with our friends from Mornings on 95.7 The Jet.
Jody and Bender. Hello, friends. You just got back from Disneyland.
We just got back. 100 years of Disney is what they're celebrating, 100 years of wonder. And Jody and I, this morning, after a whirlwind 48 hours in the park, are running on fumes this morning.
We don't have a lot left to give. Yeah.
Well, you guys
we
look
walked
so
a lot,
cute
we
there.
rode a lot, we ate a lot.
Oh,
yeah, we had a good time.
Stop it.
We had a good time.
We packed everything into 48 hours. We did our show from Disney yesterday,
right?
And then this morning, so we did our show. Now we're on your show. I mean,
it's a lot.
What more?
What more can we give?
Can we give?
Should we give blood later today? Do they need it?
The full video, by the way, is on our Facebook page at Jody and Bender. If you want to see it, you're seeing clips right there. But it was a blast, and Disney knows how to do things, man. Their 100-year celebration, the park, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Reimagined
sections of the park, reimagined, and the Food and Wine Festival is going on right now, and there are some photos there. The food is delicious if you are a bit of a foodie like me, and they have alcohol at California Adventure as a reminder.
Ooh,
they have
fabulous.
exciting craft cocktails as well.
Now, Jody,
I may have sampled one.
You had quite the weekend. On top of this, you went to Taylor Swift's concert in Arizona. Tell us all about it.
Yes. Well, I had a friend who offered me a ticket to the opening night of the Eras Tour, and I'll say I was a marginal Taylor Swift fan. You know, I knew all her hits, and I didn't love her, and I didn't hate her, but I definitely wanted to see the show because it has all this buzz around it. I will tell you, I am beyond excited to recommend this show to anybody who's excited about seeing her when she comes to Seattle. This girl sang for 44 songs, 3 hours. It was a massive stage setup. She changed costumes. The stage morphed in ways that I've never seen with, like, you know, she had a digital stream running through it. And at one point she dove headfirst into the trap door, and I couldn't stop talking about it. My friend was like, enough already with the trap door. I'm like, how did she do that? She plays acoustic. She plays piano. She sings. She does not lip sync the whole time. Yes.
Are you now officially a Swiftie?
Lump me in the bucket with everyone else.
I'd love to hear it.
I bought a T-shirt.
Welcome to the club,
And
Jody.
I'm going to find myself tickets.
It's a good one to be in.
Oh, my God. You guys, she is amazing.
I was
She
wondering,
really is.
watching all the TikTok videos over the weekend of her doing that dive underneath. I'm like, the amount of trust you'd have to have in your stage crew to just put your head first underneath the stage, full-on dive under there. It was shocking. I can't believe it.
It was great, yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. The trap door wasn't a secret. We knew about the trap door because she's been coming up and down it the whole time. But then she just randomly dove in head first. Everybody screamed. All the girls were like, no! It was epic. Go see her when she gets to Seattle. I promise you, whatever dollar amount you've paid will be worth it.
Well, speaking of dollars, I hear you guys have some new info for us on splitting the bill.
Nice segue. Yes,
Thank
we
you.
do. There's a
set that
story
up.
that came out that apparently a lot of people don't like splitting the bill, and I'm not talking about being gracious. I'll pick up the tab this time. You pick up the tab next time. Whatever. They're talking about they don't like splitting the bill because they think they're paying for things that they didn't order, and that the splitting of the bill is never split down the middle. So if you're going to split the bill, that you should only have to pay for the things that you got. In fact, there was a Friends episode about this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where the broke friends were like, well, I just ordered a little like piece of salad or a soup, and how come I got to pay $30 or $40 for this just because the bill was split? A lot of people have a problem with splitting the bill.
What do you guys say? Split the bill or don't split the bill?
I feel like it's ideal to ask at the beginning of the meal, could we get separate checks if you know that you're maybe not going to eat as much or drink as much as everyone else around you? But sometimes you're just lazy and don't want to do math, and it's easier.
Right. I personally like
Okay, but what about...
Bender.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I personally like to just pay for the bill, and then people can Venmo me later. You know what I mean?
Get those credit card points.
Yeah, well, that's the trick. Or just pay for it and you get it next time. You know, that's just easier.
That's right. The
That's
credit
what I
card
do.
points. See, that's what you do. You always pick up the check because you get credit card points.
I just always assume that what goes around comes around, you know? If I have to chip in on a 3-martini lunch that I didn't have any martinis at, eventually that person will cover me too.
But see, also, you got to remember, if you're Carly or Mireya and you're going out with them, you always think that they're going to pick up the tab because they got TV
They're
money.
fancy. You got that fancy
They got
TV
TV
money.
You've got radio money.
That's what that
You
is.
were just at Disney, okay?
Maybe-
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, why do you guys even go out to eat? You have people cooking steaks and charcuterie boards and making bourbon cocktails literally 4 feet away from where you're sitting right now.
We go and visit all our favorite
But the
ones.
big
That's right.
thing-
That's what I do.
nice,
I'm
it's
like,
nice.
this chef was
But
great
the
when
big
they came
thing
on.
is, Mariners, the home opener, Mariners opening day, when we're
Ooh,
all there
yeah.
at T-Mobile Park, you guys are going to be picking up the tab
Pick up the
because they
tab.
get
That's
TV money.
right.
We're not
Yeah.
splitting anything,
I
right?
want to try all the new food that's going on at T-Mobile Park, and you guys are going to hook it up for us,
We'll
right?
be doing the show live
Yeah.
from T-Mobile Park, opening day, 11 o'clock, on the field live.
Hot dogs on Mireya and Carly.
Yeah.
Can't
Did you see
wait.
that
It's gonna be
graphic?
so much
It looks
fun.
so good.
I've never seen that graphic until
It
just
looks like
now.
a whole party.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
All right?
We'll talk to you next. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thursday.
All right, coming up, we are telling you about a local event honoring women in business.
I'm going to be chatting with one of the panelists for What She Said, who's a successful Seattle entrepreneur. We'll be right back. There is this event happening later this week to honor women in business. It is called What She Said, and it'll honor women that make our community so great. And we are very excited because joining me today is one of the panelists of the event, Angela Shen, and she is the founder of Savor the Wild Tours and Savor Seattle Food Tours. Some of my favorite topics here, ma'am.
Me too.
So you actually have a very interesting set of businesses, and it's really what makes you such a great panelist for this event. So talk to me about them.
Sure. You know, for better or for worse, I'm a serial food entrepreneur at this point. So for 17 years, I founded and ran a company called Savor Seattle, featuring the best restaurants and eateries in Seattle. And now I'm going to help people feed their wild side.
I love it.
So I'll take people out into the woods, mushroom foraging, razor clamming, pop-up dining events that showcase Washington's famous wild foods. So it's very quintessentially Washington experiences.
I love that. So I actually know people who love to forage, but it's so intimidating to me. So talk to me about why this is the perfect thing for somebody who wants to learn more about this.
Well, and that's it, right? Because it has been a bit exclusionary on purpose, right? And for me, I know what it's like to be on the outskirts, and I want to bring people into these experiences because mushroom foraging isn't scary. It shouldn't be scary. And it's a great way to connect with nature. There is absolutely nothing more exciting than plucking your own mushroom from the ground and then getting to eat that and share that with your family and friends.
That's so exciting. Now, of course, we can see why you would make such an excellent panelist for this event, but talk to me about why it is that you wanted to be a part of the event.
Yeah, you know, being in the food industry for as long as I have here in Seattle, I feel really honored to be a leader in this space. And so as this serial entrepreneur, I'd love to be able to share my story and some of those best practices and learnings that I've had over the last 17 years, because my hope is to help also inspire this next generation of female makers in the food space, because we need more. We need more of us.
And speaking of that, I mean, I think we'd all would love to say that men and women are currently equal in this space, but the numbers just don't show that to be the case. Talk to me about the major barriers that you experienced and how you overcame them.
Yeah, so as you've mentioned, Mireya, women are underrepresented, not just in the food space, and certainly when I'm in the woods, I don't stumble upon a lot of people
sure,
who
yeah,
look like
yeah.
me. And I think it is about acting and, you know, approaching people as if you don't have anything to lose. Like, there are no barriers, because if I'm letting myself hold myself back, then I'm never going to make a dent in whatever space that I choose to be a part of. And so that's kind of my biggest piece of advice, actually, for women and anybody who wants to break into the food space is just act as if you have nothing to lose, because you don't.
That. Yeah, you know, when I was in college, I read this article about fake it till you make it mentality, you know, and I think that so many people, especially women, really talk themselves down and think that they aren't worthy, but you are. You just need to act like it, right?
Yeah, fake it till you make it.
I love that. So speaking of the numbers, though, we do have data from a LinkedIn survey that shows that women hold just 32% of leadership positions worldwide, and actually the growth on that is minuscule. We're talking about 1 percentage point growth over several years. Talk to me about how that makes you feel when you see numbers like that.
I mean, it's disheartening, right? But I think events like, you know, this event at the W on Thursday, it is really about trying to change that dynamic. So it takes mini steps, big steps, but whatever people like me can do to help pave that path and make it easier for that next generation. I feel like that's part of my responsibility as being a good steward in my space.
Now, clearly you are a confident woman, which I love to see, but for...
Fake it till you make it.
Yes, baby. But for women who are out there, you know, no matter their age, that maybe struggle with this particular portion, being confident, what advice can you give so they can develop that skill?
Yeah, I mean, seek people out. So I remember when I first moved here, sight unseen, 17 years ago. No experience in tourism, didn't know a single soul. I literally read a newspaper article in the paper about a Chinese gentleman who owned a chocolate coffee company, and I just called him out of the blue.
Oh, wow.
And just introduced myself and said, I have this dream of starting a food tour company. It's never been done before, but I think that you'd be a great person for me to talk to. And again, didn't have anything to lose, and I was bold and just asked. So that's what I would suggest, is just put yourself out there and ask for help.
So it sounds like there is an importance in building a community, even if you don't presently have one where you are.
Yes, for sure. And I think that's what's, I'm grateful for, is to have this community now that as I start Savor the Wild, my second tourism business, I'm not starting from scratch, and I'm able to reach into this network, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see where it goes.
All right, Angela, Shen, it was really a pleasure chatting with you. Thank you for giving us a preview of the amazing talks you will be giving as a panelist. The event is on Thursday, this Thursday, and we have posted all that information on our website, fox13seattle.com/Studio13Live. Thanks again.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And still to come here on Studio 13 Live, it is time to start thinking about summer travel. Up next, Carly is talking with travel host and expert Samantha Brown about the things you can do to have just the best travel experience. We'll be right back.
Hey, welcome back. With spring travel underway, we are starting to hear all about the latest trends, especially as we start dreaming about those summer trips that we want to take. Our next guest is Emmy-winning legendary travel host Samantha Brown. You've likely watched her popular travel shows over the years, like Passport to Europe on the Travel Channel, and her PBS show Places to Love is now in its 6th season. Samantha, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today. I look up to you so much, so I'm just like pinching myself that I get to talk with you today.
Carly, it's great to be here. Thank you for inviting me on.
Awesome. Well, we're talking all about spring break travel trends to start. So what are some little trends that you're seeing with spring break travel so far this year?
Well, first of all, the biggest trend of 2023 is that it is not 2022. And I think we can all say good riddance, right? That's where we saw pent-up demand travel, which is now fully done, revenge travel, all this type of travel that we felt really obligated to do, and maybe went to places that we couldn't quite afford just to catch up because we had been, in a travel desert for so long. Now for 2023, people are traveling where they want. And most importantly, Carly, what they can afford. Affordability plays a big role in where people are traveling to.
Definitely. I'm glad to hear that revenge travel is over, because I feel like I was sort of waiting for that to end. So now I'm ready to go, especially looking ahead to this summer. So if families know that they want to go somewhere, but they don't really know where to start, what should they do first?
Well, I always believe in just gathering the family around the table and say, where do you want to go? Like, include the family. I feel like moms, we bear the responsibility of everyone's wishes, demands, their expectations for summer. Moms need to offload that, talk to everyone, say, where do you want to go? Okay, so if it's maybe it's a culture city. Cities are definitely back for destinations to travel to. And so you can go to places like Chicago, or maybe it's Amsterdam. But talk to your kids and say, well, what do you want? What do you want to achieve? And then just start from there.
That's a good tip. And I feel like sometimes for me, travel sneaks up on me a little bit. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have all these PTO days that I need to use. I'm going to have to do this last minute. Do you have any last minute trip ideas for people?
Yeah, don't get on a plane. Just don't. There's no reason to stress you out. Drive. The road trip, car trip is still king, right? You go 2-3 hours from your house and just have a really lovely time. Because here's the thing about travel, the benefits of travel, right? Having fun, bonding with your family, maybe solo time for yourself just to restore your batteries. They happen no matter how far you go. It doesn't matter if you're going 3,000 miles or 300 miles. The benefits of travel are going to be there. So keep it simple, don't overthink it, and don't overspend.
That's a really good tip. And you're just such a pro at this. If people do jump on a plane, what can they do to kind of plan a seamless travel day?
So you definitely want to download your airline app, right? Because then you're going to get all the alerts, the delays, the cancellations that start coming in about 24 hours. So you definitely want to monitor that. Another thing that I always do is remember that weather, which has been bonkers this winter and into spring, is something that you're flying from to and through. And so just be aware of that and make adjustments before everyone else can. I always reach out to the airline through my social media because there's more customer service put on those entities, like a Twitter especially, because then I'm going to get better customer service. So I have, and here's my biggest tip, Carly, for everyone watching, before, if it's a big trip, small trip, I don't do this, but if it's a big trip, I have a go-to plan if something goes wrong. I have the next flight I can get on, the next flight I can get on. Maybe there's an alternative airport. I have that plan. Again, this is for important trips. And so if nothing happens, well, good. I've already done this exercise, right? This mental exercise that things might not go right. But if something does go wrong, I am on it. And I call the customer service number, or I reach out into Twitter and I say, this is my flight. It was canceled. Can you get me on this flight? I am already there where everyone else is in shock that things have gone wrong. So if you just plan for the worst, when it's just theory, right? This isn't going to happen. It's just, what if something happens? You have a plan. You have plan B and C, and you're ready to put it into action immediately.
Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. That's what they say, right?
Exactly. Yes, yes.
Any favorite places right now that you'd recommend people travel that's affordable and easy to navigate?
Oh gosh, our country is loaded with wonderful places. And another thing you can do is just get on alerts through any one of those, search aggregates for airlines, and just plug in your airport, Seattle, SEA, and see what are the cheapest destinations that I can fly to, and just get this entire list sent to you rather than you searching in vain. So that's another way to kind of find those destinations that you can afford. Another thing, like I said, just keep it simple and travel within your own state. Washington, phenomenal state. You've got so much. You are so lucky. So there's so much you can do. And again, you want to avoid all the really popular destinations. You probably know where they are. Like right now in spring break, it's Jamaica, Bahamas, Cabo San Lucas. Think contrarian. Think, well, where aren't people? And still find great travel experiences. Again, the United States is a phenomenal place to travel all over into, and you can save a lot of money that way as well.
And you've done such a good job of that. As a travel host, what's kind of been your key to maintaining longevity in this industry? Because I feel like it's just always changing so much. I just have such a career crush on you.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, I loved your prior guest's comment that as women, we really think that we can't do it and we kind of talk ourselves down, and don't. I felt like I didn't know what I was doing for the first 8 years of my career. I wasn't good on camera. I wasn't a traveler to begin with, and I just learned, and I was curious, and I really just loved, meeting people and doing what I did, and I slowly got better at it. So if you love it and you have a passion for something, don't count yourself out if you're not an ace at it. You will get there. Just keep at it.
Oh, Samantha Brown, thank you so much. It was so lovely talking to you today.
Oh, nice talking to you too, Carly. Have a great day.
You too. Oh, such a great chat. All right, still ahead, we've got a furry friend joining us in studio. See how Doggone Seattle saves over 700 dogs each year, and meet some of the adoptable pups in their upcoming event. We'll be right back.
Doggone Seattle is the largest foster-based dog rescue organization in the Pacific Northwest, and I feel like you can tell who our guest might be. Something tells me. But let me tell you that they host adoption events around the city where you can meet friendly dogs and enjoy a cocktail or two.
Yeah, today we are joined by Jenny Nordeen, the founder and director of Doggone Seattle. Hi.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming in here. First off, we got to meet our handsome little fellow right here. Tell us about him.
This is Tex. He's a 2-year-old German Shepherd Lab Pyrenees mix. He joined us in August 2021 from Fort Worth Animal Control in Texas. And he's been in the rescue. He's the longest resident in the rescue. He's been here for 18 months now in several different foster homes. He's a really good boy, and we are very eager to find him.
He's a very handsome boy.
Very
what
handsome.
A fun combo, too.
Absolutely. Seems very high energy, too. So maybe somebody that likes to play.
That's it. He's actually not particularly high energy.
Oh, really? He's just a happy boy.
He's very happy to be here, very excited, but he's actually pretty chill. He's got a good off switch. He likes to cuddle. He likes to hang out around the house. He does enjoy playing with toys, but he doesn't need a ton of exercise. The biggest reason why he hasn't been adopted yet is he does need to be the only dog in the home. He's not aggressive, but he just doesn't have great social skills and know how to get along with other dogs very well. So I foster him. I've got several other dogs in my house, and he's good. We've integrated him, but in terms of a forever home. He needs to be the only dog. And so a lot of people just, kind of balk at that. And that's understandable, but he is great with kids. He loves all people, I know. And he actually is very well trained. Sit.
Look at that.
Look at
that. Yay, good
and
job.
He's cooperative, likes to go, out and about with you. He loves car rides. So he's a really good companion, and he's so soft. And we'd love to find him a good home.
Now, of course, we want a great home for Tex here, but you've actually placed over 700 dogs in their forever homes since just about 2022. So that's amazing. Tell us more about your rescue organization.
Sure. Yeah, we did $700 dogs last year, and that was a really challenging year because of COVID. A lot of dogs coming back into rescue and coming back into the shelter. So we were proud to still be able to help as many dogs as we did in our community. We have been a 501c3 since 2017 and placed almost 5,000 dogs in that time.
Wow.
We have about 300 active fosters. Not all of them have a dog in their home at all times, but that foster on and off. And we work with shelters here locally, owner surrenders, as well as overcrowded high-kill shelters out of the area.
Well, you're doing the Lord's work here. Where do the dogs mostly come from?
So we work with a lot of high-kill shelters in California and Texas. We also work with partners in Hawaii. These are shelters that don't have a lot of resources, don't have a lot of adopters in their local area. So we'll bring those dogs here, place them in foster homes for 3 to 4 weeks, get to know them, and then find them homes here in the greater Seattle area. We also work with shelters here locally that have dogs that are just kind of needing a break from the shelter environment. Maybe they're over stressed in the shelter environment, need a foster home, and local owner surrenders who can no longer care for their dogs. So those are the primary places where we're getting dogs from, and they all kind of go through the same process where they're going to a foster home where they're getting medical care, training, and an evaluation so we can hopefully place them in a home where they're going to be successful and not end up back in the shelter environment.
That's wonderful. Now, you do host adoption events, and you have one coming up. Tell me all about it.
Yeah, we try to do them on the weekends, especially this summer. We get out and about in the community in dog-friendly places where people can come, meet the dogs in like not a sad, depressing kind of environment. This coming Sunday, ours is at Hotel Monaco in downtown Seattle, and there'll be probably about 10, 15 adoptable dogs there, all escorted by their fosters or volunteers, so that you can ask questions, get to know more about the dogs. And that's from 4 to 6 p.m. this coming Sunday at Hotel Monaco, Seattle. And then we post our adoption events on our Facebook page. So
awesome.
Often at breweries, dog-friendly places in the area.
Oh, that seems so fun, too.
Yeah.
Meet some other dog lovers doing that as well.
Exactly.
What's the process like to foster and adopt a dog?
So we have an application for both on the website. Fill out the application. We'll review it, get in touch with you. We provide support. So the biggest thing about our foster program, I feel like a lot of people don't find it accessible. We try to provide a lot of support. So if you've never done it before, that's okay. Everybody has to start with their first foster dog, and we will help you through that process. Answer questions that you may have, and just be there to kind of hold your hand through the process. And you do meet a community of people who are doing the same thing as you, going through the same thing as you. So it's nice. I feel like our world can be very disconnected right now, and just in general, everyone on their phones, and we don't know our neighbors. And this is a way to make real connections with fellow dog lovers who share a passion with you, doing similar things at the same time. You're all helping these dogs, and some of the people in our community have made lifelong friendships doing that that are really meaningful, and you're saving lives. So it's pretty.
You get to hang out with this little lover boy. Look at him.
He's so lovely. Jenny and Tex, thank you so much.
Yes,
it's been awesome having you. You can find more info on Doggone Seattle's upcoming adoption event on our website, fox13seattle.com/Studio13Live. Thanks again.
Thank you.
All right, coming up, Mexi Beast Barbecue is joining us in studio.
Yeah, we're going to learn how to make some street taco crostinis and smoked deviled eggs. We'll be right back.
Hey, it is time for Emerald Eats, where we highlight amazing food in our area.
Yeah, today we are joined by Steve Hernandez with Mexi Beast Barbecue. Steve, welcome.
What's up, guys? Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
It smells so good in here.
Thank you so much.
And I think the thing I can tell right away is your passion for cooking and educating people on barbecuing. So talk to me about why it is that you love to do this through social media and what you teach.
Sure. No, I found a passion for cooking about 6-7 years ago. I've always kind of cooked, but when it came to smoky meat and barbecue, I really needed an outlet for mental health. You know, I found myself in a dark spot, and when I got into smoky meat, it just was very therapeutic for me. And so I just went on this journey of learning and asking questions and figuring it out. And it's a whole different process than grilling meat. But it was just one of those things. And I started my social media with it, and it just took off. When people would ask questions like, what rubs do I use? How do I do this? What wood do I use? What charcoal do I lump or briquettes? And so it just kind of tapped into the to the teacher in me, the advocate in me, and so I love sharing that, and that's what my social media is. Just recipes that are simple but elevated. Recipes that anyone can have in their kitchen, anyone can use, because I know sometimes recipes can be intimidating, and we're like, oh, I don't know if I can make that, or I don't know if I can do that. And I just try to break that barrier for people so you can have great food if you're busy, on the go, no matter where you live. You got a backyard, you got a grill, you don't. So that's where it all comes from.
And you were even saying with some of this equipment, which looking at, I would be intimidated by, you got this on Amazon.
Yeah. So again, just being able to have resources for people to find on Amazon. We could get this come right to your doorstep to make this recipe. Again, you don't have to have all this equipment. You can make it very simple, and I just try to make that bite-sized for everybody.
And what are we starting with today?
So this is one of my most requested appetizers, and I just figured I'd do appetizer style because March Madness, we got NBA playoffs, you got baseball season starting, and so these are smoked bacon deviled eggs. And so the process for making these is called a cold smoke. So there's no heat involved. You just have to have a wood source and ember. You light those just to kind of get the smoke in it. And so I did these on my pit at home, but I wanted to demo this because this is a setup that you can do in a studio, apartment, in your home. So let's smoke some eggs.
Let's play with fire.
Let's smoke some eggs.
It looks cool.
Yeah,
so what do we do here?
So first of all, you're going to need a wood source. So I have these, what's called barrel-proof bourbon barrel wood dust. So these are retired whiskey barrels that they shave down.
That's so cool.
That whiskey gives a sweet, sweet flavor. So you would just fill the hopper here with wood pellets, which we've already done.
Okay.
Then you're going to take your torch.
Go ahead, ma'am.
You want me to do the torch? Okay.
Okay, so you're going to click the back right here. Okay, and then get down to the wood. And then you're going to turn. It's okay. It's okay.
Is that all right?
No,
Okay.
A little bit
and
back.
then click this on.
Yep, turn that on one.
Click it on one.
There you go.
There we go.
Perfect.
Trying not to set the studio on fire. Should I back off a little bit here?
Look, it's doing it.
Okay.
Yep. And so typically,
and it smells good.
You let it go. Let the fan is going to go ahead and blow air onto that fuel.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty much it. It's lit. You can smoke cheese. You can smoke fish. You can smoke salt. You can put a bourbon in there. Smoke that. There's so many things you can do with this method, right?
So bad.
And so
it smells really good too.
Yeah, it does, because that's that whiskey. That whiskey smell. So you would do this for about 30 minutes to an hour until that was done. Let that sit in there and marinate, and then you would enjoy. So what it does, it gives you a kiss of smoke.
How about for your dinner party guests? And they will be very intrigued by the time you come in.
Exactly. So you can go ahead and shut that fan off.
Oh, okay.
And then we'll pull the top off.
Da, 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 da.
And then there you go.
Beautiful.
So what we have is two options. These are bacon. Bacon's infused in it, got chopped up and garnished. And these are plant-based bacon bites.
Ooh, I'll try the plant-based
So there you go. You can try those out.
I'm going to try this one. You go first.
Okay.
Tell me what you think.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah? Okay.
I've never had a smoky deviled egg before.
Yeah, and so you could see the yellow, it turns the white a little yellow because of that infused smoke flavor. And again, it's just taking the deviled egg, which is everyone's favorite at a picnic, and just elevating it just a little bit. And again, you get that smoky bite, not overbearing, not too powerful, but just enough to know that, wow, this is different.
Very fancy.
So satisfying.
I do love that. Oh, but you're making one more thing for us. What else we got?
Absolutely. So with Mexi Beast Barbecue, it's just one of those things where we have a Mexican-style dish here. This is a smoked, reverse-seared tri-tip dish. So I was gonna, we do brisket, ribs, pulled pork, all those things. But again, With a tri-tip, you can get those at your local butcher, at your local store. And again, you can put it in there, smoke it, and then sear it off on your cast iron, on your stove. This was all done in my pit, and so we took that, and this is what we call a street taco crostini. Okay. So I took the deliciousness of a street taco, which who doesn't love tacos, right?
We all love tacos.
Right? Absolutely. And then just deconstructed it and put it on what we call a Mexican roll, bolillo. And that's what this is right here. So this makes great sandwiches, tortas at the taco truck. You've probably seen these running around. Again, you can get these at your local Mexican bakery. Safeway carries them, Fred Meyer. And so we just took that off, toasted it, and then made some pickled red onions. We made a fresh pico de gallo, and we made a fresh avocado, cilantro, lime crema. That we're going to top that with here.
All the extras make it even better.
Yeah, so this has been smoked for about an hour, hour and a half, and then seared off, and it just gives a great flavor. So let's build one. We got, again, a vegetarian option. So we took some portobello mushroom caps and did the same process, same seasoning, so that way you just don't miss a beat.
Yeah.
You know, it looks the same text.
You think we can do this in 30 seconds?
I think so.
Let's go. Ready? And go.
So,
we'll make it into a cooking competition.
And that's how you know you can do it at home.
Yeah.
Right? You got to prep, but once you got all the prep, it's ready to go.
And it's nice, too, having it separated like this. I feel like all the family members can put exactly what they want on there, too. You know? Switch it up a little bit. Kids love to get involved.
Queso fresco?
Queso
cotija. Very nice.
Oh, that crema looks so good.
And then just a little light pickle. You can eat it or you can't. You don't have to, but just gives that beautiful garnish on there.
Thank you so much for joining us here. Can we give it a quick little bite?
Yeah.
Ooh. And you know what? We do have these recipes and more information on Mexi Beast Barbecue on our website, fox13seattle.com/studio13live.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much. What a good way to end the show.
I wanna see you smile, take you another mile. Don't gotta wait, don't gotta wait, don't gotta wait today. It's happening all around.